how did you come to an idea to send your kids to a U.S. boarding school?
I'm an entrepreneur, mentor. I work with young people. I teach. I am a speaker and author. And somehow I was always in this educational field. But most of all, I'm a mother. And as a mother, just like any other parent, I was thinking about what would be the gift I could give to my kids that will last forever. Mm-hmm. And the obvious answer for me was education. Education is a gift we can give them that will last literally forever, and a gift that actually can be enlarged during time and even more meaningful after years. So for me and my husband, it was a logical step to think about what would be the best for our kids. And my older daughter, she is 18, she wanted to go to US, and during her high school here in Serbia, she decided to go there. Of course, it was a tough decision for all of us, because leaving her home country, her friends and family, and everything she's used to is a huge challenge for a young girl, and also for us as parents, because we still missed her. We miss her a lot, because there are so many things we do usually with her, and now she's abroad. But in any case, we know that we are building a gift, education, that will help her to become the best version of herself, exploring new cultures, new systems, making friends with more than 100 kids from all over the globe. So, thinking about what would be the best gift for my child, that was the point, that was the moment when we decided for her to go abroad.
Okay, and how old was she when she left?
Yeah, she was 16. She went for 11th grade.
Okay.
I do think it's a great age for kids to go abroad, because they are grown enough, mm-hmm. And at the same time they are still elastic. They can adapt mm-hmm. more quickly. They can adjust to new system and new habits of new systems. So it's perfect, because now she is 12th grade and she has enough time to prepare herself for college application, and I don't know, maybe it would be best if they can go for the whole high school, maybe now, but I'm not sure. But for now, we are satisfied with this decision.
And why boarding school? Why did you think to send her to boarding school instead of just a day school where she would be hosted by a family?
Well, decision is, we've been thinking about, she could go to high school in our neighborhood, like most kids do. Mm-hmm. And that's an easy decision. It's easy and it's cheaper, to be honest. But then again, if she's here in Serbia or somewhere near, she will rely on us as parents, and we see that all the time, that kids actually, they don't have the opportunity to express themselves and to live outside of the frames we parents and friends and family put on them, So boarding school was a great option, because she would live there, she would become a team member of a school, exploring new way of living, and focusing on grades and focusing on team spirit. That's something that's a huge difference between day school and boarding school, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And were you worried at all, just to send her there so young, not knowing maybe the language, maybe her language wasn't at that level where it is now, not knowing friends, not having anybody over there?
Yeah, well, life is an adventure, if you ask me. And Nikolina, she's just like that. She's adventurous and curious young mm-hmm. lady. And she explored the world with us. We traveled to more than 40 countries during her short lifetime. Mm-hmm. And, as an adventurer, it's great to see new things and to admit that there are things you don't know, you are not the best at the moment, but seeing a big picture and chance and opportunity to grow. That's much more important than who you are at the moment and what are your capabilities. So I had worries. I worried a lot about will she adapt? Will she miss us a lot the way I miss her? That new school system, will that be familiar to her? How can she all of a sudden learn, speak and write in foreign language? Up to that moment she had English language just once per week or something like that. So but you have to trust in your kid and in their potential. You have to let them go and explore the world and show themselves who they are. And if we believe, we are not afraid. Those two emotions, they are contradictory. So if you believe, you're not afraid. And I believed in her, and I was completely right.
And how did the society react to it? Were they scared? Were they telling you, why are you doing that so early? Do you know of any parents that have done the same thing as you?
Well, yes. Some of our friends said that she's too young, and that 2,000 kilometers away is
pretty much
too much. But then we have friends who live this mobile life, to put it like that, travel a lot, work in different countries. So some of them encouraged us, some of them were, they worried about her and our decision, they questioned it. But the most important thing is that we've been very clear with our decision. We knew that's the best for her and she needs to try. We've been open to the idea that she comes back to Serbia if she wish, anytime. So, one semester or a whole year, that's good, without that pressure. She went there without pressure that she has to stay for, 11th and 12th grade and to study there. No, it was explore, see if that's okay, if that fits you, if you wish something else. You will make some new friends and you will learn language much better and know it much better than you do now, and you win in any case.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And I know that you already mentioned that kids that do stay here depend to rely on their parents pretty much until they're 30 and live with their parents until they're 30. Do you think that Serbia as a nation is changing their awareness of it is okay to let kids go at such an early age and they will end up fine? Nothing is gonna affect their success at the end.
I think that our kids are super smart, and our kids are courageous and creative. And I do believe that they need the opportunity to explore and to expand and to see who they are. And it's not always the easiest to do that while you live with your parents and live in a system which maybe do not encourage being open or different or an explorer. Right. So I believe that our kids should at least try. Because they could surprise us. They could show us how mature they are, how capable they are, how wise they are, how they can adapt, and they can offer so much to the world. And I think that there are things with our educational system which are great. There are things that can be improved, but that's not the point. The point is when our kids go abroad, they live different life. There are no, frames of reference we have here in our country. They get this opportunity to be whoever they want, just like a fresh start. So we owe them to at least this opportunity to be who they want and to take care of themselves.
Right, and try it out.
I do believe that they will be very grateful for that.
And what about Nicolina? Is she happy over there? What are her thoughts on everything?
Yeah, well, Nicolina is, I was so surprised when she came back home from the US after 4 months. She went there in August and she was home for Christmas break, so 4 months. It was the longest period of time not seeing her. And, she went there I don't know. We had so much questions and so many questions, sorry. And when she came back home, I was super surprised to see a whole new young lady.
The growth.
Yeah, it's like she was optimistic. She was full of smile and joy, full of ambitions and ideas. She was like taking care of her stuff, of her wardrobe, of her diet,
Right.
and food plans, workouts. You know, it was like, oh my God, how do you manage all of this? And she said, yeah, mommy, I have to do that. There's no one else to take
Right.
care of me. And that smile on her face and hope she had, you know, that's because I know many of her friends here, and I somehow see and feel that sadness and in a way hopelessness.
Right.
And when I see her, whenever she comes home, I see that hope and you know, energy and optimism, which I wish to see in all kids all over the world. So that's priceless.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest benefit, I think, of the whole boarding
Yeah.
and US experience.
Yeah.
Why high school and why US?
Well, while kids are young, still young, to put it like that. Okay, for parents, kids are always young.
Right.
But well, when they go to college, they are already somehow framed, and they have their expectations and maybe habits and behavioral patterns. And while they are in high school, they are still open for new things and for diversity and for various challenges. So I think that it's maybe that's the best period of time or age for kids to go abroad, at least for a semester or a year, and then if they want, they can pursue their career and education, college education over there. So high school is best because they are adults enough, you know, they are mature enough to go and to take care of themselves, and yet they have this openness like children in, you know, in early stage. And when they go in high school, they see that in a way as a game. Of course they have this homesickness and everything, like
Which is normal.
they will have that in college as well, so that's normal, but they can adopt more quickly and to find beauty and opportunities more often than challenges and difficulties. Nicolina wanted to go to US from, I don't know, from when she was like 10. She loved that culture. She explored everything about boarding schools and high schools in America. So that was the obvious choice for her. And, you know, for us, I didn't know where to go. And it's crazy, like maybe some parents would support their kids to go abroad, especially to US, for example, but we don't know where to find information, or is it really difficult as we think? And it's not, you know. I really want to share this with other parents. If you have support like IBA, I came up you know, to know you and to meet you guys thanks to a recommendation, and with you it was so easy. I knew what I have to do, a timeline was clear. You've been with us all over the
whole process.
Yeah, on all different steps, you know, because there are things we have to manage as parents for kids to go in US, but having this kind of support makes everything easy. Not easier, but really easy. So now when I look at this experience, sending her back, it was, yeah, it's not a big deal. Emotionally, it's a huge challenge. Financially, it's not that easy, you know, but physically, in terms of logistics, you made it like a piece of cake.
Nice. Do you think that US schools are more superior than Serbian schools? Do you think that their system is so much better that she had to go all the way there, or do you think that other things were more important than actual education?
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, just my impression is that they are different, and when things are different, you cannot compare them easily. So here we are focused on grades and on authorities, and I'm not sure that we encourage kids to be who they are as much as we would need to. And in the US, since I talk with Nina regularly and I follow her curriculum and all the activities, I see that actually there they somehow pay more attention on this holistic approach to kids. So they value their emotions and they value their opinions and they support them while, wishing for better grades or achieving more. So it's more like a community, like a family with strict academic rules, but at the same time they empower kids to be more creative and open. And here that's completely different. Since I'm passionate about learning in general, I do think that being able to be who you are and to be open, that will help you learn and acquire knowledge faster. So I don't know which one would be better. But definitely the American system is, for me, like super cool.
And you have already mentioned her progress when she came back after 4 months, that she was happier, she was more enthusiastic with more opportunities. When it comes to academics, do you think that because American system has 6 classes per semester, 6 different subjects compared to 16, 17 in Serbia, do you think that that has helped her, or do you think that that is somehow stopping her progress because she's limited to only 6? She can't study everything that Serbia has to offer.
Well, it's like a focus. They are focused on one subject or topic within a subject. And when you master that subject for a semester, you go, to a next step, which is, interesting. I like it because they have enough time to understand the subject and topic from different angles and to master it and then to go to the next step. At the same time, she had more time for various activities like clubs and sports, things she wanted to pursue during her high school here, but she didn't have time because she's in school or she has private classes and support, and then it's crazy, like for 12 hours she's somehow committed to her school and school obligations. So there she has enough time to focus on 6 subjects, and at the same time she has enough time to be a soccer player or a soccer manager or to volunteer in various amazing organizations. So she's full, but she's fulfilled with joy, and that's the huge difference.
And what about the electives? What has she, for example, chosen? What are some of her interests that she is exploring? Maybe that's something that she wasn't interested in, but because the school offers, she wanted to try it out.
Yeah, that was challenging because she was so curious. She wanted everything because opportunities to learn, for example, psychology and some social science. She wanted to study psychology and behavioral economics, and she was like, "Oh, Mom, can I learn that? I want to go to this." And I said, "Yeah, well, cool, but you don't have enough time." Psychology, for example, that's something that is very useful. She got to know some theories, and she even during this summer studied Stanford or something at Coursera or edX or something, massive open online course. So electives are here to introduce something completely different and new to them, and that can be an inspiration to explore more if they want, and if not, they can go and explore something else. I think it's a great concept.
Okay, and we're going to go back to the finance. I know you have said that it is a little bit more expensive than, of course, leaving your kids to stay in Serbia and study. Do you think that financially it has and it will pay off? Do you think that you should have waited maybe a little bit longer, maybe to send her somewhere for a master's degree instead of high school? What do you think about that?
Well,
is it too early to send them to high school and pay more money than you would pay here, for sure?
The thing is, if we somehow accomplish to have open-minded humans, like children who are open and who are curious about the world and who are willing to test, seeing their potential growing, full of ambitions, then regardless of the college they would want to go to, they will succeed. Because it's not just about formal education, it's about mindset. And high school is the most important part of their education where we can actually have any kind of impact on their mindset. Elementary schools are also very interesting, but that's too early. High school, that's maybe the last moment for us as parents and society to empower kids to have this open and growing mindset. And if we let them go just for college or master or whatever, they will be like fixed. They will be already who they are. And that's something I wanted to avoid. I wanted to have a kid that explored all her possibilities and options. And when she decides here this or that, she will be confident that she will live a meaningful life, whatever she chooses at the end. So that's why I think it's not too early. Maybe it's the last moment for us to give our kids open perspective. And yes, it's challenging in terms of finances. It's more expensive than to go to neighboring high school.
Right.
But then there are scholarships, there are different options that can support their education abroad. That's one thing. And the other thing is that actually I had to pay 3 or 4 private teachers to support her education here in Serbia. And for a boarding school, like dorm and food and books and world-class education, the price is not that high. The thing is that we will give them the opportunity to live the life they want. And if we wait longer, maybe they will already be fixed in their mindset, and I'm not sure that we will get this chance to do something for them.
And do you consider this opportunity as a luxury or a necessity or both?
It's as simple as that. It's
both.
No, well, I think it's an investment. In which sense? For me, investment is something that you give in advance for a thing that will grow in future. And as I mentioned at the beginning of our talk, education is the most amazing gift I can give to my kids, because that's a gift they can use and that will last forever, and that will become even more significant and meaningful and worthy during time. So if I invest in something like that, it's obvious that that's a great decision. And when you have a child that you see somehow struggle with society, with habits, with music, with culture, unculture, for example, here in Serbia, it's your duty as parent to give her or him the opportunity to see something different. And there are ways for us to find some financials. Also, your company is supportive in that sense as well. So when I take all into consideration, it's not that expensive. I'm sure she will find a way to earn scholarship for college. College will cost less than it would be if she went to high school here in Serbia. Right. So there are always some trade-offs, but for now, that's maybe the wisest investment I ever made.
So oftentimes people have accused, not just us, but agencies that do this, of sending quality people abroad, and because of us, they don't ever come back. That's when we started implementing the term academic mobility. Do you know anything about it? How would you define academic mobility?
Well, I've heard about it, and I am familiar with mobility as a term in our society in general. we live in mobile times. We live in a hot, flat, crowded world, meaning that we can be anywhere and we can be whoever we want at any time. So having all these possibilities, being mobile, being able to go and take the best from wherever you can, it's a huge advantage. I really don't see how it can be a problem. Our kids traveling and learning abroad will take the best out of different countries and their systems. Depending on their preferences, they will live there or at completely in completely different part of the world, or they can come back home to their home country and to implement some of the innovations they learned. So it depends not on us or educational system. It depends on our kids and their ambitions. They can bring the best from everywhere they go, and that can be actually an opportunity for our country to become better, to follow best trends in different areas of life. So we have urban mobility, we have workforce mobility, of course that we have academic mobility. If they can go, if they are allowed to go, to take the best out of different educational systems, we should support them. That will be the best for them, and eventually that will be the best for our country.
What would you tell are the benefits that kids get from the US boarding experience? Single word benefits.
Tough one. Well, first of all, and the most important, superb education. Then community, being a part of the team, it's very important. Network of global fellow kids from all over the world. Mastering language, not just one, but two. Sorry, this is not one word bullet point.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, mastering at least one language, in Nicolina's case, 2 languages, Spanish and English. So education and network and community and this global perspective, they instantly adopt. That would be the most important benefits of boarding school.